My full review of Godzilla x Kong. Let's get into it. So honestly, I really did enjoy this movie. I was not sure what to expect going in. I mean, I saw the last one, I enjoyed the last one. I pretty much enjoyed all of them to varying degrees. One of the big complaints I've always had about the movies is I kind of get bored or I don't like the movie quite as much when they focus on the humans. There are some parts that were decent, but I just was wanting the monsters more. And I feel like this movie really fixed that. I mean, between Henry's character trying to reclaim his, credibility with his blog after Monarch wouldn't verify him, the relationships between Dr. Henry and Jai, I thought were great. I thought it was cool, bringing the psychic stuff back to the front. I always liked Dan Stevens, and seeing him play this crazy veterinarian with all the high tech, I thought that was a really cool touch. I will say, though, this movie is more of a King Kong movie. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's not, for them to focus the story on him made sense. But it definitely is a King Kong movie with a lot of Godzilla cameos. I mean, Godzilla's in there, and all of his scenes are just him being a badass. I thought the villain was interesting. I think it was cool to see that side of it, because what the great apes bring that the other kaiju don't really have is their ability to adapt and use weapons and find ways to bring their level up, even if they don't have the strength or the speed or extra powers of some of the other big monsters. The Hollow Earth stuff was really cool. I mean, it's always cool to be down there. I think it was very interesting to see this whole, ecosystem and how it interacts with ours. I thought that was a cool touch. And I love the little new civilization down there and how they brought that in with gravity manipulation and all the stuff that they do. And the action, for sure, was where it needed to be. I was not bored at any point watching this movie. Did I love everything about it? There were definitely some things that I would tweak, and if you haven't seen it yet or don't want any spoilers, now's the time to zip on up. But yeah, here's the things that maybe I would have adjusted or liked to have seen. More Godzilla. I mean, I know that it's kind of hard because he doesn't have quite as much personality as Kong, and he doesn't really have the interaction with humans that Kong has. So maybe it's a little harder to do his story, but still, I would have liked to see him in there a bit more. When it became clear that Kong could kind of best any of the other great apes down there, including the main bad guy, I think it would have been more interesting to see a fight with multiple of them coming after him. And I understand that by the end of the movie, you wanted Kong to come back and be, the ruler over him, so you couldn't just kill a bunch of them. But even if he just had a group of really big loyalists that attacked Kong, I think it would have been a better action scene. There was one scene where Kong ends up fighting multiple great apes, one of the better action scenes in the movie. I thought the ending was a little bit generic. I think that there were some definite cool elements in there. But the rest of the movie had such momentum that by the time it got to that point, I was a little bit like, okay, we're here. Okay. And it wasn't enough to make me dislike the movie. But again, if I'm being critical, I would have probably maybe amped up something about that final fight. Other than that, I thought it was an amazing movie. Definitely worth your time in the theaters, a spectacle, which is why we go there, why we pay the money, eat the popcorn, and enjoy our show. If you're on the fence about this movie and you're not sure, and you like action, you like big monsters, I definitely say go check this out. I put this above even the first Pacific Rim movie, and I think it might be one of the best in this series. Hope everybody's well. See you around.